I'm tired of news networks manipulating statistics, manipulating them in such a way to scare the crap out of you. My news network of choice that I watch, we all have our news networks of choices, but mine is CNN. I feel like they're the closest to the middle than the other networks. Case in point, I've seen them since Biden became president. They've been critical of him, which is good. You know, not as critical of him as Trump, but Trump was an asshole. He was the worst president that we've ever had so far. But my issue with CNN, and I think other news networks do this too, is just baiting us with fear. You know, using fear to keep us watching, or just make us scared. I'm sick of news networks trying to scare us. Like, what happened was, what drew me to this was this morning, Sunday morning, as I'm recording this. I was watching CNN like I do. And they put up the COVID-19 statistics, and they mention how they put up the graph of the daily trends for cases, and they say how cases were like under 100,000 for today, for like the second day in a row, for the first time in a while. And I'm like, wow, that's great. And then the next graph, they say, oh, but deaths are up to like 460,000. And so they show the total graph for deaths. But they just showed like the daily graph for cases, but then they show the total graph from the CDC for deaths. Like, before I recorded this, I went on to the CDC website to look up the daily death graph, and it's similar to the daily. It's gone down just like the daily cases graph has. Why not tell us that? Why not tell us that the daily deaths have gone down? You know, instead of saying, oh, the deaths keep rising, but the daily cases are going down, but the total deaths keep rising. I'm like, what the fuck? Why do you have to tell us that? Why do you have to tell us in that way? It's been about a year now. Almost a year now that we've been in this virus pandemic. And you're still trying to scare the shit out of us? You're still trying to put fear in our lives? You're still trying to make us be scared of this? It's been over a fucking year. It's been about a year now since the virus pandemic has started, and tactics like this are still happening. You still enjoy like scaring the crap out of us, CNN? And I say CNN because that's the news network I watch, but I'm assuming that the other news networks do this too. I have to think that I know Fox usually does. Although I think Fox might be ignoring the pandemic for the most part, so maybe I need to start watching Fox. Because I know we're in a virus pandemic. If I want to look up the information, I'll do what I just did and go to the CDC to see what the cases are. I think that's what I'm going to fucking do from now on, because I'm just sick and tired of watching the news and having them scare the shit out of us. That's annoying. I'm tired of the news scaring the shit out of us. I'm tired of them manipulating statistics to scare the shit out of us. It's stupid. It's stupid. I get that we're in a virus pandemic. I'm not one of those deniers. I've been vaccinated. I wear a mask. I socially distance. I do all the things. I wish more people would do all of the things. But it seems like they don't. But I do all of the stuff. And for once, I'd like to watch a news network and not get scared to death. Or not get scared. It's pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. Really fucking pathetic. I just want this whole thing to be over. Really, is what I want. I want it all to be over. Just sick of it. I want it to be over. Don't you want it to be over? Comment on the video or reply to me in my contact information, which is in the show notes. I'm just sick of it, man. I'm just like, CNN just pissed me off this morning, and I needed to do a podcast episode about it. So I did. But I imagine all the other networks do that shit too. But I'm just like, yes, all right, the deaths keep rising. Of course they do. We're gonna lose deaths. Is that what's gonna happen? We're gonna have, the death numbers went down. We had 470,000 deaths total, but now we're down to 469,000 deaths. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. We can't lose deaths. They're gonna keep accumulating. But you could at least tell us how many died in the day instead of how many died total. It's fucking annoying. But I'll still watch CNN though, because I hate them lesser than the other news networks. I don't hate CNN as much as I hate the other news networks. So I'll keep watching them even though they pissed me off this morning. Thank you so much for watching and or listening to the episode today. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to let me know what you thought. And that's the bottom line. If you smell what the McTaggart Attack Podcast is cooking.